trying to finish up this bevel. This is a slot that I cut 6-7 months ago. If you can see that. It's basically the pitch, the same pitch or degree as the keelson, because the floors have to remain perpendicular to the ground, to the water line. And so I've got to relieve the floor to fit that angle. So just I don't have any kind of stabilization, but I'm basically working it like this, turning the chisel over. Those of you who didn't know how to use a chisel. I began with just cutting lines, beveled lines in, up and down the length of it. Then taking the chisel and relieving those as I go down to match my line, especially up top. It's pretty easy once you know how to work it. But again, don't have any professional camera stuff, so let me go ahead and finish this up. I would let the camera run, but it'd be bouncing all over the place every time I use the hammer. Alright, so we're all done the relief. I just want to put that on. I'm trying to rock it to make sure that there's no belly in it. Looks good. All the way across. Pretty tight. I don't know if you can see that, but I guess you can't really see, but there's no light or anything in there. There's not much of a belly. Got a little bit of unevenness there, but that's no big deal. Old-fashioned hammer and chisel business. So you may be asking, dude, what the hell has been going on? Well, this conversation has been a long time coming. I've been avoiding it because I look at what we do on YouTube and social media as, extra to life. Not real life, but the exciting part, the adventure. But life is what life is. So I've gotten lots of phone calls and emails and I guess really people on YouTube inquiring as to what's been going on. So here it is. How do I take the stabilization? How do I make this thing stabilized? So you may be asking, dude, what the hell has been going on? Well, this conversation has been a long time coming. I've been avoiding it because I look at what we do on YouTube and social media as, extra to life. Not real life, but the exciting part, the adventure. But life is what life is. So I've gotten lots of phone calls and emails and I guess really people on YouTube inquiring as to what's been going on. So here it is. How do I take the stabilization? How do I make this thing stabilized? Absolutely nothing. Boatyard is a mess. Things are stuck in time like they were several months ago. And I just actually picked this up. I started working on last January. Alright, peace and blessings. It is the 12th of August, and it's been a month and nearly 10 days since I've worked on the boat at all. And I've gotten lots of folks online inquiring, sending me little messages. Hey man, where are you? What's going on? Are you still doing the build? I've gotten even some phone calls from some folks, emails, people like Drake from Drake Paragon. My man from the Sailing Road, Steve Payment, gave me a call out of the blue. And Jeff Wettig, also been talking to him. And life happened. I haven't done anything since January the 2nd, thereabout. And it's mostly been because of work. If you followed me for a while, you know I had a daughter that went away to college last year, and I had lost my mother about a year before that. And I had talked about the struggles that I had dealt with losing my mom. It's been one of the hardest things I've ever had to deal with in my life. My mother lived with me. She had stroke a couple of years earlier, 2010. She came to live with me in 2010 and lived with me until she passed away in 2015. And during that time I had gotten divorced and some other stuff, but losing my mother and my daughter going away to college sent me into a bit of a depression. It started actually way before I stopped making these videos, and I did mention it last year if you guys were paying attention. Like last April of 2016, I just started to suffer with anxiety, and I sought grief counselor, and it helped somewhat. I left that alone, and then exactly to the day, a year after my mother passed away, a good friend of mine that I went to college with also passed away. His name was Henry Anderson. And it started all over again. So that was the beginning of October last year when Henry died. And the anxiety came back, depression came back, and it forced me to walk away from a project I was working on. I was what's called an MEP coordinator as a consultant with a company called RAM, who had a contract with a very big national company called Gilbane. We're building 2 schools here in Baltimore, $49 million construction project combined, of which I was responsible for the MEP trades, which are mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, coordination and management of those trades. And so that was about, I don't know, nearly $22 million worth of construction that I was managing by myself. And I just couldn't do it. So I had to walk away. I'd given the company 30 days notice, and part of our contract agreement, it was 30-day termination clause, and so I held up my end of the bargain. And so November 1st, I stopped working. And I didn't know exactly how long I wouldn't work. I had some savings and so forth, and so I had to take care of myself. Had to relax, had to get rid of stress, because I don't know if you've ever suffered from anxiety, but you feel like you're having a heart attack or you feel nervous, and went to the doctor and had a physical and everything's fine, so it's totally was up here. So I know I had to deal with it, and then when I wanted to start working again, it was kind of hard to pick back up. In the last 10 months, I've worked 3. I took on 2 small little projects that helped kind of pay the bills, but it's been pretty slow. And also, my recovery from this anxiety has been one of the hardest struggles I've ever had to deal with. But I'm feeling better. And part of dealing with, anxiety and depression is getting back into your routine. And so that's why I decided I needed to get back on my boat, because definitely cruising is the only thing that, well, not the only thing, but my children and watching those videos of other sailing channels and looking at that stuff is something that really brings me peace, and it's really a part of me that I want to reconnect with. And so, although the funds are still very, very depleted, I figured I need to do something. And so I've got lots of material around here that I could do stuff with. All the frames are still built, so I can still go ahead and attach those. The most I'd have to spend is money on epoxy. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I just want to thank you all for your kind words and words of concern and everything. And I know some people are, the naysayers out there. Oh, I know that boat wouldn't get built. Whatever, man. If you want to see a boat, just go to a dock and look at a boat. But if you want to travel, well, travel with me on this journey to build a dream, because this is more than just about the boat. It's about the dream. It's about how to have a dream, create a plan, and execute that plan. And life does happen. I think initially when I first started this journey, I said 3 years, and then I would be away out of the yard and move into an actual boat yard to finish. So this is the 3rd year, and clearly we're not going anywhere. In order for me to get this boat out of here, I'd planned on having it, the hull fully completed and the deck on, and turned and have this thing flipped over, but clearly that's not happening right now. So, but time, whatever. When it's done, it's done. Some of you may say, well, you can't afford to build a boat. Well, that means I couldn't afford to buy a boat either. Because who wants to have a $500, $1,000 boat payment and something like that happens? I've always been independent, and since I've been an entrepreneur, I've tried to buy most things cash. I mean, you finance your house, you finance a car maybe, but I definitely am not going to finance a boat. I may finance an engine for a boat, a motor for a boat. If I have to put this beta engine in here that's about $20-some thousand, I may finance that, but not the whole thing. So, like I said before, when I have money, I work. When I don't, I don't. And so we're going to get back on it. Some people have said I should start a Patreon or GoFundMe kind of thing. And I'm conflicted about that, because I'm a proud person, and that is kind of an interesting way to do it, but I'm still not settled about that. I don't know what the response would be from that, if it's even worth it, but I don't know. I may do it. I was going to do that once I had a boat to show, I was going to do that when it came to building my engine, not building and just sponsoring the engine, like, hey, help me buy an engine. Make a donation. I wanted to do it at that point, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do that now. So personally, I've done some reorganization to my life. I've, in the last couple of weeks, gotten a lot more aggressive in terms of marketing my business and reaching out for work. And so I feel proud about that. I made a really good presentation to a developer locally to manage the construction of a project here in Maryland, and I feel good about it. And so getting back on that horse is a good thing. So I guess that's it. I guess I'll go ahead and attach that floor and maybe take a video of that if I can. But again, just wanted to give you guys a little heads up. I'm still here. The dream is still alive and well. I've gotten myself together. Now I've got to get my funds back in order, both to take care of this and take care of my family. Little squirrel on the roof. So anyway, stay tuned, and as always, peace and blessings.